Alright, welcome back to Panda Gaming, and this time back to the Total War Warhammer 2. And the background has changed, and the reason is that the Rise of the Tomb Kings DLC is out for about 15 euros or your regional equivalent. So, what do you get for it? Well, you get a new faction called the Tomb Kings, and you can play it in the normal Warhammer 2 campaign, Eye of the Vortex, or the combined map of Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2 called Mortal Empires. So you get 4 new lords. Cetra the Imperishable, whose initial challenge is easy. You have Hiking Khalida, which is a normal difficulty, and 2 hard ones, which is Grand Hierophant Kathep and Archon the Black. And there's quite a new interesting race attributes and mechanics, and that's something I will show you in a moment. So let's dive right in. I'm gonna show you all the starting locations for both campaigns and see how they work. So see you on the other side.
The sands of time ravage all. Mortals, monuments, even civilizations cannot stand against it. Their remnants lost beneath the dunes, awaiting discovery by the brave or foolish.
What's that? Shh. I can hear something. Shh. Come here, quiet.
Like time itself, the living are not welcome in Nehekara. For this is the land of the dead, ruled by the Tomb Kings, where only the expired may serve. In life, they were tyrants, now cursed with undeath. They crave power more than any living thing, and none more so than Cetra, the Imperishable. Eternity was promised, but the Tomb Kings awoke to unlife, no longer beatific sovereigns. Their kingdoms as decayed as their bodies. The glory of Khemri lost, forgotten. A comet, an omen. The Black Pyramid stirs, but does not wake. A vessel of untold power, awaiting a new master. But it remains sealed. The Lich Priests are tasked with finding access. They venture deep into the catacombs, seeking clues. Discovering an obelisk inscribed with hieroglyphs as old as the desert gods. The answer lies in the 9 books of Nagash, the original tomes of undead lore, authored by the Arch-Necromancer. Due to the turbulence of the vortex across the ocean, not 9, but only 5 books are needed. Then the pyramid shall open. Time has seen the books lost, scattered. Other tomb kings will seek them, for all desire the Black Pyramid. Begin the search. Raise your warriors. The legions of Khemri march to war.
I, Setra the Imperishable, King of Kings, Lord of the Shifting Sands, eternal ruler of mankind, rest no longer. Nehekara will be restored to greatness. Savage greenskins threaten to raid my lands in the east. They have defiled my temples before. I shall ensure their extinction. More godless orcs dwell in the mountains to the south. But a much greater threat squats within my kingdom. The Necratch Brotherhood leech upon my realm. A parasite that must be purged. But they are all mere distractions. I hunger for more. The power of the Black Pyramid. It stands guarded by a sentinel army and behind magical bonds that can only be unraveled by owning books of Nagash. The books shall be mine, and so will the pyramid. For I am Setra the Imperishable. I do not serve, I rule.
Alright, that was Cetra's little speech there. And this is where he starts. So, we are in the Vortex campaign, we are in the Southland, which is basically Africa. So, if you probably guessed by now, this is the fantasy version of Egypt. So, like they said, and you probably figured out from the trailer, this race is not competing with the other ones for the Vortex. They are looking for books of Nagash, which is this UI section here. So we need 5, and then there is going to be a battle of the Black Pyramid, which is actually here as the ending for the campaign. So you need to find, well, you already know where they are. They are actually 3, 6, 7, 8 of them are available to get, and they are in these locations, and you either occupy a settlement or you defeat an army that has it. Then they are apparently pretty strong, so this will still take quite a while to get, and as you can see, the rewards are different from each book. So you can sort of pick and choose where you go and which book you get, because you only need 5 and there's 8 available. So there's 3 you don't actually have to get. So if you don't want to go to the north, you can just skip these 2 and, you know, get 4 of these and 1 from here if you want. That's to your choosing. What else is different from this faction is that, as you can see, we don't get a lot of money. But that's fine, because none of our units cost any upkeep. They're dead after all. So there's absolutely no upkeep cost. So you can just build them as you like, for the most part. As you can see here, there's unit capacity. So this skeleton chariot can be recruited 2 times. We already have 1, so we can only build 1 more. Then it will be grayed out. Why is it 2 of 2? That's because it's determined by the building. So this bone shaper, as you can see on the left here, unit capacity +2 skeleton chariot. So when you get more of these same buildings in different cities, you will grow your unit cap for those units, the buildings you build. So there's different ones like here, open graves. You can get unit capacity +4 for skeleton archers and so on. You know, these different buildings give different unit capacities. The only two you can build as much as you like are skeleton warriors and skeleton spearmen, but as you can see from the stats, they're really horrible for the most part. So you really only build them if you have to. Also, what is interesting is that if we look at the Khemri, we have one army, and we cannot recruit more at this time. So, as you can see, research or awaken new dynasties within a dynasties panel or mortuary cult panel to increase the maximum number available. What is a dynasty panel? It's basically the tech 3 here. So, if you don't know anything about Tomb King's lore, they had, I think, 6 dynasties or 7. At least 6 are represented here, so I guess it's 6. So you can research them. As you can see, each and one of them increases the army capacity by 1, so you can have additional armies and recruit additional lords. But each of them decreases the research rate by 30%. Then that opens these 3. If I start researching this one in 14 turns, I will open these ones, and I can get these things open. So yeah, there's bonuses. There's bonuses for units. There's more hero capacity for the 3 heroes. They are Lich Priests, Necrotechs, and Tomb Princes. And you can also get the king of that dynasty in the top one. As you can see, cross 2000. Those are canopic jars, which can be gotten from the campaign map and also from battles. Those canopic jars can also be used in the mortuary cult, which is interesting. It's the first time I think ever in a Total War where you have an actual crafting panel. So you can get the new dynasty this way as well. You need 10,000 gold and 800 canopic jars, which will take quite a while. But there's also these, I think these are Legions of Legend. 4 of them you can unlock this way. But you need also, like this one needs iron and golden idols. So for the first time ever, trading is actually pretty important, and the resources you have. So that's nice. You can also craft weapons and armor and enchanted items and talismans and arcane items. You know, some of them are actually pretty okay, like this epic amulet of Patsa, which gives the wielder armor-piercing ward save and you know, ability to debuff the enemy quite heavily. So you know, quite a lot of these are pretty good. But you need to figure out, because these also need canopic jars, so you need to figure out where you want to spend them when you get them. What else? Well, I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So you're not basically participating in the big Vortex campaign as the 4 other races, and you have your own little thing with the Books of Nagash. But as you can see, most of these are like places where you will be in contact with the rest of the factions quite heavily, and probably fighting with them, especially if they take any of these places, which are like Lost Plateau, the settlement here. So if someone takes that, you need to take it if you want to get the book, so that creates conflict as well. As for the Legendary Lords, this is the Cetra start position. You start with at war with the Top Knots. That's your only... Well, you have followers of Nagash as well. I'll get to that later, but it's a pretty easy start. You can easily kill the Top Knots, which are Savage Orcs, and then you can also get Zandri. I colonized that one pretty easily, so then you have your first province. Yeah, I guess that's about it for Cetra, the Imperishable, who is pretty mighty. If you look at let's see where it is here, I think the Imperishable. He has quite a title. Kneel before the might of Cetra the Imperishable, Khemri Kara, Lord of the Earth, he who holds the scepter, High King of Nehekara, ruler of the four horizons, monarch of the sky, mighty lion of the infinite desert, the King of kings, great hawk of heavens, majestic emperor of the shifting sands, and eternal sovereign of Khemri's legions. So, I mean, you have your unique trait as well. So as you can see, you need faction has 50,000 treasury, so that's quite a lot, 100,000 and 200,000. So that will take quite a while. And of course, if you read the patch notes, it mentioned that you always need to address Cetra by his full titleship. So remember these titles. Anyway, that's it. For their units, they have quite a lot of skeleton warriors, like skeleton troops, skeleton infantry, some chariots as well, and a lot of monsters called constructs, like this Cambrian War Sphinx. You have Necrosphinx and a Hyro Titan, as well as a Tomb Scorpion. So there's a few cavalry, monstrous cavalry as well, and then skeletal cavalry, and one artillery piece, the Screaming Skull Catapult. I think there's a Regiment of Renown as well. Let's see. No, it was, what was it called? Some sort of casket it was. I'm not sure if you could build it somewhere, or what was the way to get it. Could have been here in the mortuary cult as well. Well, anyway, that's another artillery piece you can get. Yeah, they have pretty crappy infantry, quite strong monsters, and also quite strong what's it called? Magic. So there you go. I'm gonna show you the other starting positions now. So see you there.
His wish exiled me to roam these frozen and barren lands of Nagaroth, but they will not stop me from still serving my king. I have failed him once in the search for unlife, but I shall not fail again. I yearn to journey back to Khemri, past the bestial hordes that war with us, and across the cold mountains, harboring a dark, chaotic magic, as unsubtle as it is destructive. If I am to return to Nekara, I must find safe passage. The coast is guarded by high elves, and a great ocean filled with peril. Yet these lands of the Dark Elves and the jungles of Lustria may yet still provide what the mortuary cult seeks. The path to the day of awakening. The answers are hidden in the Black Pyramid. But to gain entry, I must seek out the books of Nagash. These tomes of our arch-enemy are the key to our ultimate purpose and King Cetera's grace.
Alright, that was the little monologue for our lord here, Grand Hierophant Cathep. And as you saw from there, he's exiled. He was the leader of the mortuary cult who promised Cetra eternal life, and what he got instead was this unlife, which he was not happy about. So this guy is all the way here, neighboring the Dark Elves, whereas Cetra was about here in the Southlands. That is the big difference here. Similar playstyle otherwise, I think. Grand Hierophant Cathep starts with a Hydra Titan, which is a very strong construct. If we look at the building browser, it's on level 5 here, so you also need 10,000 gold to actually build the building where you can lock these. Other than that, the Exiles of Nehek have also mountain as the suitable climate, in addition to the desert and savanna and wasteland Cetra had as well. You started well with the Beastmen faction of Stonehorn tribe and Sildar Thor, which are dark elves here neighboring. So this is considered a hard start. You don't, well, you can have, it's easy to, I guess there's a few settlements you can take, but you're surrounded by dark elves mostly who can band up together and make your life miserable. The point of this campaign is also to get the books of Nagash. They are in a bit different place, but yeah, either get settlements or destroy the armies defending those books. Alright, that's him. He also starts with a hero Lich Priest, which is pretty handy. And the faction gets, I think, bonuses for Canopic Jar generation and some campaign movement range and casualty replenishment rate. But as you can see, diplomatic relations -40 with Dark Elves, they will hate you. Alright, that was Grand Hierophant Cathep, and I'll show you the next one, which is gonna be High Queen Khalida. See you there.
I come for you, creatures of the night. It is foolish to think the jungles can conceal your presence from me. But who will be the first to taste my poison? The lizard men, perhaps? Lustria teems with life, yet I bring only death. And when there is no more blood, where will you feed, vampire? I travel far from my throne, not merely to end you, creature, but for the books of Nagash. The knowledge they contain will grant me strength over Neferata. My hatred cannot be sated any longer. By Asaph, I strike out for vengeance and justice.
Alright, that was the intro for High Queen Khalida, and she starts here in Lustria, which is right on the south western tip. So Katep started here in the north and Cetra here. So this is a very different start again. That's a common theme with all these lords, so they have very different setups. You begin the Forgotten Isle and your first enemy is the Lizardmen, one of the sub-factions called Sentinels of Zeti.
The goddess will.
So if you the difference between this faction is that the Court of Liberos, which is the faction, the suitable climate is jungle as well, in addition to the wasteland, savanna, and desert, etc. has. And also you get diplomatic relations plus 20 with Tomb King, so they will like you, and you get more ammunition for all armies. Also, I think Miss High Queen actually gives poison attacks for every unit in the army, which is pretty powerful, and you get half attrition from all sources, which is nice, and some untainted as well. So yeah, as you could see, your main enemy is probably going to be the Vampire Coast. You're not at war with them yet, but the books of Nagash are mostly in their hands. A few of them here, quite a few of them in Southland as well. The vampires are, I think, about here. Yeah, about here is the Vampire Coast. So, and Neferata hates vampires. Sorry, Neferata doesn't hate vampires, but her sister, which is High Queen Khalida, hates vampires. So they are mortal enemies. So no, she will destroy any vampire she sees. And she starts with additional units of Necropolis Knights and Sepulture Stalkers. I think I actually forgot to say that the Cetra starts with a Kemrian War Sphinx, which is here. Very powerful. So that was Khalida. Otherwise same, got the books of Nagash, and do the Battle of the Black Pyramid. Alright, that was her. Let's look at the last faction, which is going to be a bit different from these three. See you there.
Master, hear me. The world is in turmoil, unstable with its power, ours to take. Yet others look to prevent me from returning you to this world. The Knights of the Flame voyaged from the north to claim these lands, but they hold too much faith in their lady to protect them. Their errantry war ends here. I shall lay them to rest in the desert. More treasure-hungry living inhabit these realms. They shall not stand in my way as I march to you, my master. Any artifacts stolen by these mortals will be returned to their rightful home within the Black Pyramid. My path is clear, master. None shall stop me finding your books. I already have one in my possession, and the others are bound in your essence, and so call out to me. I claim your pyramid, master. It is yours, and always has been. Let Cetra and the lesser kings try and take it. All will perish.
Alright, that was the monologue for Archon the Black, who is here. And he's a bit different from the other Tomb Kings, in that he's leader of the followers of Nagash, and he hates all the other Tomb Kings. So what happened was, Tomb Kings weren't also Tomb Kings, always Tomb Kings, I mean. They were humans once, and this nice fella named Nagash killed them all in a big spell, and so they hate him. He was later killed, but his essence still lingers, and his right hand, the champion, Archon the Black, is the leader here. He's awoken, and he's trying to do the same as the other Tomb Kings, get to the Black Pyramid, but I think for different reasons. He wants to win the Battle of the Black Pyramid, and I think he wants to resurrect Nagash or something like that. I haven't played this yet, but that's how it seems to be played out. As you can see, he also starts with one of the books of Nagash, so this is slightly easier. You only need to get 4. But every other Tomb King hates his guts, so minus 50 diplomatic relations with the other Tomb Kings, so it's a bit different. He also is a bit different in the way that he can recruit certain vampire count units, because Nagash was the who created the vampires in the end, so, and he get diplomatic relations plus 20 with the vampire counts. Yeah, he has the 9 buff of Nagash, which enables him to recruit a few vampire count units, namely from this building, which gives the Crypt Ghouls, Direwolves, Fellbats, I think, yes, bugging a bit, and also Hexwraith from the upgraded one. So those vampire count units, in addition to all the Tomb King units, Archon can recruit, and his followers. His is a pretty tricky start. You have these Knights of the Flame, I think they are called. Yes, Bretonnian. You know, Crusaders are occupying the north coast, and you only have one settlement, as well as the other ones as well. Other lords have, and you also start next to these Greybeards, Prospectors, Dwarves, and also Sudenburg, I think, humans here. But as everybody hates you around you, it's going to be tricky. You can't even talk to Khemri or Knights of the Flame, so you just need to kill them. So you start a war with the Knights of Flame and Khemri, but there's a vampire coast to your west, which could be potential allies, so that helps it a bit. You also start here in the Southlands, so Khemri is here, so relatively close. You also start relatively close to the Black Pyramid, so that's pretty interesting as well. Alright, that's him. There's not much else different. Dynasties are the same, Mortuary Cult is the same. He can just recruit a few different vampire count units, and also his end goal is a bit different. Alright, that's it for the Tomb Kings and the new factions and their leaders. I'm also gonna have a look at the new FLC Lord, which is for the Skaven. So, see you there.
I, Tretch, have sneak into Elfthing's lands undetected. Lucky, maybe, but I take credit glory, yes. Elfthings to the east, don't know I'm here. Kill, slay them, and find Warpstone. More horrible, brave Elfthings to the south. Rumors of huge Warpstone deposits here too. Take Steel, Nagaroth, and the Vortex for Clan Rictus. Then Council will have seat for Grand Chieftain of the Deep Warrens. Yes, yes!
Alright, that was Trench Craventail's little monologue, who was the FLC Lord for Clan Erectus. So, he's a Skaven. There's absolutely... Whoa, where did you go? Could you come back? Thank you. Thank you, camera. Sorry about that. He's the leader for Clan Erectus, who starts here in the Nagaroth. Or so... No, sorry, Nagaroth. Nagaroth is the city. Nagaroth. So, he's surrounded by all these dark elves. So, but he is part of the Vortex campaign. So he will have these the rituals to complete. See, this is basically the same as any other Skaven Lord. Queek or Lord Skrolk, in that way that you need to get Warpstone to finish these rituals. It's an interesting start location. He's basically, surrounded by all these dark elves, and he starts at war with the Forgebound, which is to his east. But apparently, from what I've seen from the streams, as you can see, Malekith starts here in Nagaroth, and quite a lot of time, at least the AI allies with Malekith, and then he has a nice ally against all the other dark elves. So he actually snowballs from here. He's a pretty interesting fellow. He starts with additional Stormhammer Shirt and Shield, and also Death Runners and a Doom Wheel, so that's pretty interesting. The Clan Rectus is interesting, where they get suitable climate Frozen as well, but unpleasant climate Jungle, so that's a bit different. Also, they get always 4 public order whenever a diplomatic treaty is broken, so that's pretty weird. But I guess that's pretty Skaven-like, where you just backstab everybody around you and your friends and allies. Also, he loves to ambush, so he gets plus 13 melee attack during ambushes, and also plus 13 melee attack when retreating when someone attacks you. So that's pretty hilarious. It's also pretty annoying, this sound here. So, what else? He's the Grand Chieftain, so all units in his army gets an attribute to Vanguard. That's also pretty interesting. He has 1 quest item, quest battle at some point, but otherwise this is basically your, same as any other Skaven. The units are all the same, the buildings are all the same. It's just a different faction with a different legendary lord and different starting position. Everything else is the same. Alright, that concludes our little sneak peek into the DLC and the free DLC for the Tomb Kings and Trench Craventail. I'll be doing a Let's Play of it hopefully soon. I think hopefully in the weekend I can start. And I'll be starting with Cetra. But before I do that, let's end this, and I'll show you the one legendary lord that's different, has a different starting position in the Mortal Empires. So let's see you there.
Hail, Khalida, mighty warrior queen. Darkness falls upon your kingdom once more. Foul creatures crawl from their catacombs. Their bloodline is all that you despise in this world. Rid the Silver Host from Liberas, and put an end to this bitter feud. Across the mountains filled with greenskins and dwarfs, resides the heart of Nehekara. Strong bonds could be formed with their unliving priest kings. At the desert's edge lies the magnificent Charnel Valley, mighty tombs, and the resting place of kings from ancient dynasties. The wealth within attracts many still breathing raiders. Queen Khalida, let the power of Asaf envelop you. Bring justice to all, and vengeance to your enemies.
Right, so the Court of Liberus and High Queen Khalida is the only legendary lord from Tomb Kings which start in a different position in the Mortal Empire's map, and I'll show you where. So this is the map. As you can see, it's a bit diminished from the second game, but you also get the first game lands, and also a bit to the east here in the Devil's Backbone where High Queen Khalida starts. So you're surrounded with the Silver Host, which are vampires, so they control these areas. So that's a really good first enemy for you. They also control Lamia, which is a building slot 10 place, so that's interesting. Otherwise, this is pretty much the same. You have the summoning units. There's nothing different except the starting position is different. All the other loads, like Cetral, starts in Khemri. Archon the Black starts here as well in the same place, and also Grand Hierothep Cathep starts here in the next to the Dark Elves as well. So no change here. This was the only one of the legendary lords to start in a different position in the Mortal Empires. So that concludes our little preview here of the DLC. I'll be starting a Let's Play as soon as my schedule allows it, which is probably this weekend, hopefully. So stay tuned to that. I'll be starting it with Cetra and the Vortex campaign. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you there. Bye bye.